what's the problem? The problem is language. We have a problem with language, okay, in mathematical physics. That's the whole problem, really. And here's kind of like a synthesis, okay, so that you can see. Mathematical physics, you'll hear this jargon, this irrational jargon. And those are examples, and you can just scan through them. You can see, you'll probably recognize a lot of them being used today by all these people. And the question is whether, what should we do with all this stuff? Should we throw it in the garbage can? Does it make any sense? Does it give us any insight, into how the universe works by saying, hey, it carries a force, or I fell into the singularity, or entangled particles, or whatever? What is all this language? Look at the one on the right there, the physics one, and see if you can understand those, because we can illustrate each one of those. The dogs pulled the sleigh with ropes. We can all understand that. I can illustrate that for you, and you want to know why the sleigh moved from A to B, and I have that explanation. I can illustrate it for you, and everybody and their mother will understand what I said. How did the window break? A rock went through the window and broke the glass. We can explain all these, right? Or there you have my version, the two at the bottom. Spoons fall to the floor, boy, because every atom is physically interconnected. Okay, that's a general view. How about light? Light consists of torsions along a DNA-like rope. Anybody can understand it because I can illustrate it and make a movie of it. And not because I made a movie, is it right? Is it the one you should adopt? All I can tell you is I can give you an explanation. And these people can't do that, not with the words on the left. What do you mean carry momentum? What do you mean warping of number lines called space-time? What is all that nonsense? What is all that jargon? And so this is the problem. The problem is language. These people never understood that you have to define your terms very precisely if you're going to do science. And they haven't. They never did. You have even biologists, they don't understand what the word life means. They haven't been able to define it since the first day of biology. What is biology? The study of life, and they never defined life. They're still trying to figure out what life is. And now they ended up discovering life, or so they say, NASA says, in Mars. So what did you discover? Oh, we don't know because we don't know what life is. This is the problem. You need to define life before you can say you went out there and try to discover life. How do they know they're going to discover life in Mars if they don't know what life is? And likewise with physics, if you don't define your words, what kind of design of experiment are you going to do? What are you going to put on the board? You got to have definitions. You got to have the objects. Then you can start, theorizing, trying to explain something. And here are just groupings that I made of all these. You can see here the irrational jargon, carry a force, excited field, flowing charges. What do you mean flowing charges? Charges are numbers. Bend time. Does bending time, or like NASA says, that the Earth drags time around? And of course they say, well, it's frame dragging. Yeah, they're saying that the Earth, when it spins, it drags time around. That's what they're saying. Please understand before one of us dies, right? Transfer energy, what did you transfer? Transfer it to me. Here, I'll catch it. Open your hand. What did you get? I got energy. Oh, okay. Quite invisible. Laws of physics break down at the singularity. They have all these cliches. All these people are moving concepts. That's what they're doing. And so, that's why it's irrational. That's why nobody understands it. And forget about you not understanding it. They don't understand it. They don't understand their own theories because their explanations are all irrational. And they say, we're still trying to get some meaning out of all this. Yeah, you're never going to get meaning unless you define your terms. You have to define your terms. You can't just begin, giving your presentation, your dissertation about some physical process and talk about, and the fields and the energy and and the mass, time. What are you juggling? I want to see balls being juggled and, clubs and whatever. And these people are juggling, concepts. Yeah, makes no sense. And nobody will be able to make sense of that kind of talk, that kind of language, that kind of jargon. Here are irrational objects. What are the irrational objects of mathematical physics? Well, you have the quantum particle, also known as a mathematical object, by the way. And you say, what is that? Well, it's an object, a thing that has very special properties, magical properties, witchcraft properties, you know. They're saying it can be at two places at the same time. Or you have a tachyon. It goes so fast that it comes from the future. And these are the properties they assign the quantum objects or mathematical objects. Yeah, anybody can do explanations if you give them these magical properties. You know, a particle at two places at once, that is stretching it a bit, let me tell you. Virtual particles, they come in from the void, they exist and stop existing. They annihilate and they come into existence. Yeah, I mean, those are magical properties. Tell me the process. How did it become non-existent? How did it become existent? That's what you got to tell me. You know, what is the mechanism? Not even God can explain that. And then, yeah, you have the complementarity there. Particle plus wave equals wave packet. Singularity, is that a physical object? Well, it is and it ain't. You know, I mean, it started out as a physical object. A star collapses by its, gravitationally collapses unto itself, right? So it collapses, and it ends up being one of the two. Either a grain of sand, which is zero-dimensional grain of sand, if you can understand that, infinitely heavy, right? And the other one is it comes to a circle, a little hole in space. Everything falls towards this little circle, the singularity, but never reaches there. Meaning that in the case of a black hole, right, all the matter should be between the event horizon and the singularity, because it never reached the singularity. It already passed the event horizon. All the matter that ever fell into a black hole should be between the event horizon and the singularity. It's still there. Maybe it's closer, maybe it's farther away from the singularity, but it never reaches the singularity because the laws of physics break down at the singularity. That's the answer. Whatever that means, okay? Yeah. Wormhole, going to another universe through what? Through space, through nothing? What kind of nonsense is that? And then they say there's nothing outside of our universe. Okay, so what's that other universe doing out there? Well, we're not pushing up against it. So what's between the two universes? Space? I mean, these people never answer these questions. They put a universe outside of our universe and they say our universe is not pushing against anything. Well, how about that other universe? What is it pushing up against? It's coming our way. We're going in their direction. What happens when we meet? What surface is touching what surface? You know, I mean, what's giving, contour to these surfaces, these balls or cubes or whatever that are expanding? So it's all nonsense. They cannot visualize what they're even saying. That's why they don't understand it. And of course, dark matter, they have the fishnet as number lines. It's all, these are irrational objects. These so-called objects have no place in physics. They're not part of physics, not part of science. They're not even part of, science fiction. It's not even fantasy because you cannot imagine what these people are talking about. They cannot imagine it. It's surrealistic. Okay, so here we have mechanisms. Let's see if we can make sense of those. Okay, here's a mechanism. Fall into a singularity, and you get spaghettified, stretched. I hope I don't die, when I'm stretched. I mean, usually when they hang you, your neck goes click, and that's it. You die. But these people are saying you get stretched. Okay, your feet get pulled faster than your head or something. Your feet are on Monday, your head is on Tuesday, something like that. I don't know. Expansion of space. How do you expand space? Space is nothing. How do you expand nothing? Big Bang explosion. How did it happen? I mean, how did the explosion occur, or expansion, whatever you want to call it? There was nothing and suddenly there's something. Just explain to me how that something came into being. And of course they cannot answer that, and that's why they never answer it. Curving of space, again, expansion of space, curving of space, warping of space. What sense does any of that make? Following geodesics, I follow the geodesics. Like saying I follow the path, right? Time dilation, total nonsense. You stretch time. And plasma interacts with a field. Plasma is a concept. Plasma does not interact with anything because plasma is a concept. Gas is an object. Plasma is a concept. Okay, so you need to understand the difference between objects and concepts, and that's why these people never hit it on the nose, because they never figured out that, half the words in the dictionary are objects, the other half are concepts. Concepts we define, objects we point to. And so they're totally different qualitatively speaking, right? And they're using these concepts, they reify them, turn them into objects. Then they start moving the concept around, saying, I'm moving love. No, you're moving a heart, which is what you represented love with. That's what they're doing. And so here we have irrational theories, some of them, right? Action at a distance. What is that? That's black magic. That's what it's called, black magic. Infinite universe. What do you mean infinite universe? Is universe a physical object or not? If it's a physical object, it can't be infinite, because an object is defined as that which is finite, that which has shape. So there can't be an infinite finite, right? That's where the problem is. The contradiction. It's a, oxymoron. Time travel. You travel through time. Time is a physical object. It's a container of some kind that you're traveling through it, like an ocean. Is that what time travel is? Big Bang, again, how did this thing start? Entanglement, this particle affects that one over there, no mediator, great. Particle at two places, wave travels. How can a wave travel? Wave, as you can see there, I hope you can see it, it's not big enough maybe. What do you see? You see vectors. Two fields made of vectors. What are vectors? Numbers. What are fields? Numbers. And so how can numbers travel? So they have the wave traveling all the time. It's just all nonsense. None of it survives rationality. And what these people missed all these centuries is language. They never defined their terms, and that's where the problem starts. So we had to define these words that this fellow talked about earlier. He doesn't like the definitions because they destroy his religion. And these are the foundations of physics, something called physics, not mathematical physics, not mathemagics. This is physics. What is it? The golden principle. Physics requires an object. You have to define objects. The first word you must define in physics. And there we have it, that which has shape. All objects in the universe, it's a universal property of objects, is that they have shape. Not all objects can be touched, not all objects can be seen, but all objects had better have shape. If you know of one that doesn't, let me know. I'd like to hear it. Space, that which doesn't have shape. So if an object is something, that which has shape, space is nothing, that which doesn't have shape. Now we have consistent definitions we can use in science. Distance, separation between two objects. You need two objects to define distance. Location, set of distances. Usually you can define it with just two objects, but typically location involves more objects. And so we're saying that location of an object, an atom, whatever you want to put as a unit, has to have separation with every object in the universe. And that's the location of that object in the universe. It's a qualitative concept only. Okay? No mathematics. It's not the same thing as position that the mathematicians use, because mathematicians are talking about number lines. Position is motion in mathematics. What they're saying is how to get to the treasure chest. So they say, well, you go 10 paces on X and 5 paces on Y, and you find the treasure chest. That's position. That's the position of the treasure chest. What they're saying is they're giving a set of instructions, an ordered pair of how to find the treasure chest. That's not position. That's how to get there. They call it position. Okay. Exist. You need to have object and the location. Once you have that, you have existence. God wants to exist, no problem. First, he's got to be an object. Can't be a concept. Concepts don't exist, not in physics. In ordinary speech, yes, and that's where people get confused, because they say, well, love exists. No, not in physics. In physics, a heart may exist, but not love. Love is a concept. Mind cannot exist. We're all mindless in physics. physics, brain exists. Okay, let's get that right. And so on down the line. Only objects can be said to exist. What do we mean by that? It's an object that has location. Once we have that, we have existence by definition, not because you believe or stop believing or doubt it or whatever. Motion, two or more locations of an object. You have an object here. It has a new location with respect to other objects, obviously, right? Because if it's the only object in the universe, you wouldn't know if it moved. You need another object to compare it against. Okay, so it's got to move, it's got to change its distance, its location, the set of distances, right, with respect to at least another object. Concept, a word that invokes or embodies two objects. Okay, every concept out there requires, you're implying a comparison between two objects. So that's what a concept is. No one defined the word concept in the last 5 million years. Okay, so yeah, we needed to define these words in order to try to make sense of the theories in physics. You need to be able to give a dissertation. You need to define these words. They never did, and that's why they cannot explain to you a single phenomenon that involves invisible, intangible mediators.